Have you been having trouble getting your Meshtastic or Meshcore node out into the air to mesh with other devices? Well, I may have the solution for you. It's this. Well, it's actually what's in this. This is a new rack wireless 1-watt LoRa transmitter. So this does work with Meshtastic and Meshcore, and you can use this to get out a little bit further.
I really like these project boxes that are on Amazon. They've got these little latches on the side, pretty much water resistant for most outdoor situations. And I took an opportunity to take my little step drill bit and plug a hole on the top and on the bottom. And the bottom is a little bit wider. And inside is all the gear we need to make this this node. So the first bit is going to be our 1-watt board from Rack Wireless. There is a link in the video description. Thank you, Rack Wireless, for sending this out to take a look at. This is kind of everything you need. You just need to install it into something. And you've got different options. You can do solar, you can do battery, you can do USB-C to charge it. Do note, and I'm overlaying on the screen some information about this, you do need to give this 5 volts. Since this is drawing more power to get you the 1-watt output because it's amplified, you're going to need to make sure that you give it a good power source. With that said, our buddy Corpsalot, Lars, he is the maker of the Lars node. He's running a couple of these now, and he's using 1 or 2 18650s to provide the voltage. I'll overlay on the screen what he's doing. This is just my first iteration of this. I'm likely going to go through a couple different iterations. But what it comes with when you get this from Rack is it's got the board. It already has what I believe is the amplifier or something. No, maybe not, because the antenna connection's right there. So interesting. I got something in the back here. So, oh no, there's the antenna. So that's definitely the amplifier. I'm pretty sure about that. But anyway, we'll put that on the side. It also comes with a couple of antennas. You're going to need one for Bluetooth, probably LoRa as well. What is this? This is your LoRa antenna, and that's your Bluetooth lower energy antenna. We're going to upgrade that to a much better antenna though, because well, we want all them signals we can get. It does come with an SMA adapter here. SMA female, and a USB cable for charging it or running it in this case. Ooh, a couple of jumpers there for power. That's nice. I'm going to hang on to those for future project because this is going to be just the down and dirty version of this. I'm going to get you up on the air with this thing really fast and easy. It even comes with a little antenna. I think that's it's probably a fine antenna for 1 watt. 1 watt really isn't a lot of power, so I'm really not worried about it. I'm going to put this back in here because I don't want to lose all this stuff, including the connector. We're going to use something else for a connector. And I think I can ditch our LoRa antenna. And by ditch, I mean put it back in the bag. We don't want to lose this stuff. These are all good bits. These go in your accessory drawers, your little parts bins. You don't want to lose this kind of stuff. Maybe separate it, organize it very nicely. We are going to use the BLE signal antenna booster. We are going to use the BLE antenna, though, so hang on to that. As far as connections for antenna, though, oh yeah, we're going to be using this bad boy. We're going to use a Type N connector, and we're going to use that alpha, or at least one of the alpha antennas that we picked up from that $400 Meshtastic collection that we picked up. So put that on the side there. And to make this fast and easy, I'm just going to use a USB-C pass-through, and that's it. So this pass-through is going to go on this bottom hole. So I'm literally just going to take this nut off. This is a little serrated washer, and there's a rubber grommet here, and I'm just going to shove this in the bottom, throw back on our serrated washer, and then screw this thing back into place. And that's how we're going to provide power, at least over USB-C. That's going to be the goal. Pretty easy. At least I think it's going to be pretty easy. I've got a couple of jumpers here for USB-C, which is great because that will take us from the outbound side of this connector. So I just plug in there, and then I'll plug into our board wherever it's at. So let's put that on the side for a second. And I've got some M3 screws to mount the whole thing up when I'm ready and I like where it's at. So let's go ahead and throw the antenna connector on. This also has a nut. It has a compression washer and then a serrated washer again. Now, all of this is going to be on the outside of this antenna connection, so keep that in mind when you're putting it together. But yeah, I would go ahead and take your burr tool and scrape the burrs off of this. And yeah, this is designed for metal, so be careful here. You don't want to do too much marring, but you want a pretty smooth surface. And we'll come in this way because it's not getting a good purchase there. These deburr tools are great, and if you don't have one, you should pick one up. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good enough for what we're doing right now. All right, we're going to go in with the Type N, like so. Make sure that's nice and flush. Then we'll take our serrated washer. That goes over the top. Gives you a good bite onto the case. Our compression washer. And then our nut. Yeah, that's good. Very good. All right. And then we got our little baby connector. Little baby connector here. Now, I'm going to research really quick. I'm almost positive. Well, that's a rack 3400. And this is a rack 13302. And they both have antenna connectors. But I'm guessing one of these, that's the LoRa Boost. Ha ha ha. So that's got to be our Bluetooth. And that's got to be the boost jack. So I'm pretty sure about that, but I'm going to confirm. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Look at that. We got plenty of space. I'm going to add some batteries and then some other doodads in the future. Possibly even add maybe in fact, it's going to be oriented that way. Maybe even add like a Pi Zero or something so we can do a BBS type of thing. That would all be really good. These little cases are great because you can take the screw out here and you can take out this plate. And then that way you can build up everything, install the plate, and then add your peripherals and then connect it up. I did it kind of in reverse, but it works either way. All right, let's plumb up the rest of this. So we've got our USB here. So we'll take our USB-C jumper like so. And then this guy goes into that. How the heck? There we go. Like that. And then our antenna connector comes in, and it's like, oh, maybe. I actually don't like these connectors. I get it that they need to be small, but oh my God. All right, there's that. Okay, so you're like, well, that's a real plain looking setup, Josh. How are you going to power the whole thing? Well, I'm going to use this. This is a Wing Home solar charger kit. Realistically, it's a trail cam solar setup. Now, something I've noticed with a lot of these solar nodes is they want to sell you something where the radio is right next to the solar panel. And that's because, you know, they want it as all one unit. But realistically, separating the two is a much better idea, both for convenience and installation, but also for pointing the solar panel in an appropriate area. And when you do it this way, you oftentimes don't have to worry as much about having better antennas, like a Type N connector. It's small and it's got a decent battery in it. And you can see that. That's a pretty good size. We got about, let's see. It's a 2,000 milliamp hour battery, which is not insane, but you got a good solar panel to go along with it. Nothing huge, but should be good enough. And here is our mounting arm. It's got some straps. Let's actually pull this little bracket out so you guys can see it. Now this is designed for a trail cam, so you can see it's got the little bits there to go into a tree. But we can still strap this against a pole, and then we've got this set up here for going into the panel, which, hell if I know how you make this thing go together. Oh, like that. And you slide it down into place. And then USB-C on the outbound, maybe somewhere. Is it 12 volt? Oh yeah, there you go. DC 6 volt out. That's exactly what we want. And it's got a DC plug for that. Oh, all kinds of different DC plugs. Interesting. So wait, now I'm curious.
Now we got a touch of a quick and dirty solution here. This panel puts out 5 volts or 6 volts out this side with the larger coaxial plug. So I need to get that matching plug, which is this guy, into this, which is USB-C. So how am I going to do it? Well, I did find a little adapter on Amazon that should allow it to do just fine in that regard. If you wanted to go with a USB-C device and just do it straight that way, you could too. Make sure we seal this all back up. I'm going to take my fully charged panel here and give it some juice. Wait, that's the input. That's the wrong one. Give it some juice on this side, or give it the plug. And then I've got these adapters here, also on Amazon. These are pretty cheap. And we should just be able to go straight from this guy, yes, into our node. So let's take a look at that as we apply some power. And there you go. We got life, hopefully. And yeah, it's on. Ooh, baby, she's on. But no, this isn't programmed, so that's not going to work. Remove power. All right, so I've got a PC cable here for my computer. I'm going to plug that back in. We're going to need to flash this bad boy, so let's let it get started up here. Now we got to go to the Meshtastic flashing website to get this programmed. All right, so I am on the flasher.meshtastic.org. I'm about ready to flash my node here, but first I got to plug it into my computer, so I have a USB cable. Plug it in, and we're going to wait for that green light to start flashing. Hopefully. Yep, there's the green light. You can see that on the LED. Perfect. All right, so the item that we want is this rack 3401. That's the 1 watt guy. I'm feeling dangerous. Let's throw the alpha on there, but it doesn't really matter. Go with the stable. Do whatever you want to do. Hit flash, and you're going to see a whole big list of stuff. And then you want to enter DFU mode. And I'm going to show you how to do it without entering DFU mode. It's pretty easy, but let's just try to connect anyway. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But what it should do is pop up a drive, a D drive, and it'll say something like rack, blah, blah, blah. Hey, mine didn't. Oh, no. Well, it's simple. You just double-click that little tiny button that's next to the USB-C, and it'll pop up the drive. You'll see it happen right now live. If I did it right. And I did. Okay, great. So now we have, think of it in an SD card. We got a little drive space that this opens up. So click the download button. It's going to say, okay, where do you want to put it? Let's say save as. And then we'll just point it at the D drive and then hit save and then let it do its thing. This will disappear. It'll restart, and then it's time to pull out your phone and get Meshtastic set up. All right, so I've reset my node, and I can see a new guy has popped up. It's got much higher signal. It says FB18, so I'm going to click on it, click connect to new radio. It's going to do its thing. Sure enough, the pairing request is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is what you type in. And it's going to say, hey, I need to set a region. At least I hope it does. Yeah, we've got a region that we need to set. So I'm going to hit region. We want to make sure that this is United States. And I'm just going to take the jump on it, and I'm going to set this right up to medium range fast. I already said earlier, long fast, if you live in an area with a lot of nodes, you probably want to get people off of long fast. It's a default setting. It's kind of getting zombified a little bit. Good for when you're building an ad hoc network, but when it's at home, it's best to go with medium fast. And then I'm going to hit save, and we're going to let it reboot. All right, back on the Meshtastic app, we're going to go to user. I'm going to change this up to short name, as I do for all of them, HRCC, and we're going to call this HRCC 1W, just so I can keep an idea of what this is. So I'm going to hit save. It's going to ask to reboot. Go ahead and let it do it again. Now, a couple of settings you might want to do under device config. I am going to leave this as a client. If this was just a handheld unit, I would have put it into client mute in my case because I got the 1 watt, baby. Node broadcast interval of 3 hours is fine. I will put this on the roof, and when I do that, I'll maybe up the hops to like 5. Right now it's set to just 3 as the default. And then that's all there should be to it. I think we might see some other nodes if I get this tilted upright, but right now it's just laying on its side. So I really do need to get it on the roof to get the most positive impact out of it being out there. So right now we're not seeing much of anything. I will have to throw some other devices at it to see. But yeah, that's an idea of where we got to get it up on the roof to really do as much effect as possible. I got too excited to get this node up, but then somebody's parked in front of my house. What are you doing? What are you doing over there? It's not for me. It's not for me, I don't think. Here's what I'm working with. Temporary setup. Of course, all temporary setups are permanent, right? As we always talked about. Got my
trail cam strap setup for this solar panel. Solar panel's rocking a hundo. Let's get into this bad boy. If we supply voltage here, we should see this little guy light up. Yup. Maybe? Yes, sir. All right, the node is on the air. I don't like this whole business, so I'm gonna redo that real fast. Hold on. Beautiful. And we are in. Fantastic. So I've had it up for about 15 minutes, and I've only seen a couple of stations. You can see that a number of them are hopped. Coop in particular is a really good local node. So we've got a repeater that's helping us out a little bit locally. But I'm going to leave this up and running. I'm going to need to come back to this and tell you more about it. I am planning on doing a great big comparison between Meshtastic and Meshcore. I find value in both of them. I think they have their places. I do think that Meshtastic is unfortunately getting kind of dragged in the mud because of the realities of it being the most enrolled service and people not really understanding what that means. Likely people who just buy it, leave it on default, and then they're like, oh, I'm all done, and then they put it on the shelf, and they don't really get involved with the community and tuning it as best as possible to be as effective as possible. So if that sounds like you, and you leave all your nodes on long fast, and you don't try and communicate with any of the people in your area, at least on network, and say, hey, should we all be moving to like medium fast, for instance, or tuning things up a little bit, then yeah, at least take yours out of, put it into client mute in a lot of cases if you're long fast and you really have a poor signal. I think that'll help a lot. Anyway, look for that in the future. A huge thank you to Rack Wireless for the WizBlock device they sent. I'm likely going to get a couple more of them to get set up here. If you want to find this device, it is linked in the video description. I believe I have a coupon code to go along with that, but take the link and you'll get the idea pretty quickly. If I have a code, I'll put it there in the description as I do with all of my recommendations. I am Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. 73.